Welcome back to the Digital Agency Insider. Today we're going to be talking about this service that's made us a lot of money over the last couple of years. It's social posting. And today we're going to be talking about how to build a $10,000 per month business around posting on social media 2 times a day for other businesses. So let's dive in. Let's do it.
This is the Digital Agency Insiders Podcast. Inside, you'll learn how to build, grow, and scale your digital marketing agency, all from the comfort of your favorite coffee shop. Let's get started with the show.
Social posting. It is one of those things that, nobody really seems to understand why in the world this is such a big deal for us and why it's been such a big deal for our clients over the last couple of years. So today we want to just kind of get rid of all of the misunderstandings behind this and really show you something that if you hustle, you can make a lot of money doing. So I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime here in our digital agency. This is Tabitha Thomas. How you doing, Tab?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm doing really, really good. So this is what I don't know when we had this idea. I think it came out of us being ticked off at some of our clients being taken advantage of by other people. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they were taking advantage of them so much. It was just one of those things where like they were doing this thing that was sort of an outdated service and we knew it. And anyways, it started like this. I feel like we had this one client. Yeah, I can actually picture this client now. They had this client and they were telling us we were doing, I think it was Facebook ads for them. And we had this client and they were telling us about this person that was, basically posting on their Facebook page a couple of times a month, and they were paying upwards of $500 a month to this person. And it just sort of blew me away. And I was like, well, it's good that you're posting some, but that was what they were doing. The problem is it just wasn't enough. And so this is where we started this service, and it turned out to be something that a lot of people really needed. And we got into it hardcore. So today we're going to be talking about how we have turned social posting, most importantly, posting on Facebook, how we've turned this into a business that pays us every single month, is something that is very low investment for our clients, very low time investment for us, but everybody really wins. So we're going to be talking about that. More specifically, why social posting is a great service, how we chose an industry to sort of go after with this, how we find our first client with this, not other than the client that we just were like, hey, we need to replace this other person, how we went out and found our first one after that, and then how you can actually close the deal and get this going. So let's dig into this. This has been a bread and butter one for us.
Yes, it has.
So the idea behind this is I want you to think back to the last time you were in a new town. Maybe you were in a new town for a couple of days. Maybe you had just moved to a new town, but you were sort of in this mode of, you know what, I'm hanging out on Facebook and I need this. Maybe a friend referred you to a local dentist, or maybe a friend referred you to a local restaurant, or maybe a friend referred you to, this attorney, they're good to have, or this chiropractor, they're good to have, whatever it may be. And yeah, you go to their websites. That's what everybody thinks that everybody does. You go to the website, you check out the website. Does the website look inviting? Okay. Mm-hmm. But what's happening in the background, and I guarantee you when you hear me say this, you will have done it. If you have not done it, I guarantee you 9 out of 10 friends have done it. You go check out their social media. Mm-hmm. Without a doubt, you go check out their social media. And this is like the first thing I do. I will absolutely check out their website first, but I always check their social media to see kind of what's actually happening, because I feel like I'm spying on the business when I check out their social media.
With a website, you get like the professional, and then right. On social media, it's kind of like the personality. You get to know the real person.
Yeah. And so it's funny. It's like that's the way I feel. Like I feel like when I go to a Facebook page, I'm getting a real sense of what's actually happening inside the business, not what they paid some company to make them look like.
Yeah.
And so what's so interesting is I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a Facebook page and I saw that their last post was 2 years ago, and I just get a bad vibe. Mm-hmm. I absolutely get a bad vibe because I kind of have it in my head. And listen, after years of doing this and talking to thousands of people about this, because this is one of the questions that I just will pop out everywhere I present, every time I get on stage, this is a question that I ask. And I will go to a page that's, last post, maybe they're the most professional people in the world inside of that business. But if I go to their Facebook page and the last post was 2 years ago, what immediately hits me is there's loose ends. They don't cover everything. They're unorganized and they don't have they don't have their business together.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's not fair. I'll be the first person to tell you that maybe that's not fair, but it's absolutely what I and millions of people who use social media think when they go see this. And so, that's the thing is when I started kind of seeing that people, were paying tons of money to have people do social media for them, and they were only posting maybe once, twice a month, it does not come off well because a lot of the people that use social media daily, that just does not cut it. That just does not cut it. And so we got into this whole thing and we thought, what if we could make sure that all of our clients every single day had 2 posts coming up, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and it was topical, it was educational, and it was something that just made them look like they were on top of their game. Because I don't care who you are, you can't tell me that when you go to a Facebook page and you've got someone that's posting daily, they don't seem like they're more with it than the person who hasn't posted in a year and a half.
Yeah.
It's easy. And so I really, a lot of people say, well, Atkins, social posting, Facebook doesn't show as much in the feed of people that like a page as they used to. That's not the point of social posting. The point is when someone does check you out because they're looking to spend their hard-earned cash, what is the advantage that you have over another business? And if they're looking at 3 different people, what is the advantage that you have? And if you seem topical, if you seem like you're on top of things, it puts you in a place that is just, you can't match it in someone's head. And so that's the thing is how do we actually do that in a big way? So as an agency, this is what we did. We said, okay, if we pick one niche, we go after one niche of people. And for us, it was chiropractors that we started with.
Yep.
So we first started off with chiropractic, and that was like sort of our bread and butter because that was the first client. It was like, okay, they needed this. They had someone that was charging them a lot, and we thought, okay, we can do this better. What if we create 180 posts? And the reason we settled on 180 was kind of funny. It was, okay, if we're posting 2 times a day for 30 days, that's 60 posts. So let's do 3 months. And then at the end of the 3 months, we can just rotate it because if the posts work, they work. And that's just the way it is. And nobody's paying that much attention anyway. Yeah. And you can't believe that they are because they're not. But if you're posting that much 2 times a day, we wanted 180 posts. So what we did is we sat down and we created 180 posts. And that kind of sucks. I'll just be honest with you. That kind of sucks. But whereas most people are sitting at the beginning of the month planning out their whole 60 days or 30 days, and then they do it again, they do it again, they do it again. What we were trying to do is we were trying to say, if we bulk, we chunk this whole thing of creating 180 posts at once, what we can do is we can go in for a client, we can post 2 times a day, we can have software do that. Mm-hmm. And there's certain pieces of software, which we'll go through in just a little bit, that will actually rotate the post when you run out of posts. So we take all these 180 posts that we create, which sucks. We put them into a bucket, and then when that bucket runs out, the software refills the bucket, and then it starts posting again. And so what we ended up doing is we basically came up with this 180 set of posts for chiropractors. We used it for our first client. We actually branded them for that client, and then yeah, go ahead. I know.
What I was going to say is that there's another company out there doing this for chiropractors, but they post like once a week, and then that company puts their logos on the actual images. So they're not doing anything for the business. They're actually advertising for themselves. So that was one thing we definitely wanted to take out. Like none of our branding is on it anywhere, and the client's logo is very much so front and center.
And that's what we found. It's like anybody that had anything that was even compared to what we were doing, they always had one fatal flaw. And so like the one company that was right around our pricing, which we ended up starting at $99 a month. Mm-hmm. And we do right around $99 to $200 a month now. But we started off for $100 a month. We'll post on your page twice. It's branded for your company, not for this company that's trying to use you as a viral marketing service. And you're going to get something that's educational to anybody that happens to jump on your page. And like I said, getting back into that, this is the equivalent of making sure that in the morning before you open your doors, you sweep off your front step. that you clean your lobby. Like, this is one of those things that when someone sees it or when they drive by your building, are they going to be like, yeah, that place looks inviting? It's the same thing for online. So anyways, that's what we did. We built 180 posts for chiropractors. We put these things together. We used a service called Post Planner. Postplanner.com. Yeah. Super simple. And that's what it does. You take these posts and you brand them. And how we brand them, what was the company that we used to brand?
Watermark.io.
WS?
Watermark.ws. Which is like $4 a month for Watermark. It's like stupid and expensive.
And so and that was the whole thing, is we created these posts. We had all the same size. We threw all of the posts, every time we sign up a client, we throw all of the posts in this service called watermark.ws. We're able to take a logo for that business, throw it in the top right corner of these posts, and then we pull them out of Watermark with the Newly brand on it. We throw them into Post Planner, and now we have a setup for the business that for the rest of the year, they're going to have 2 posts a day, every single day. And these are great posts. And so we go from a client that's paying $400 or $500 at the least to get maybe a couple posts a month. And I'm serious. This is what was happening, to a client that now has a Facebook page that has 2 posts a day. They look great. And when somebody pops on their page, no matter what day it is, they're going to look current. And then they're going to look back a little ways and be like, they're consistent. Yeah. Every single day.
Well, and the type of content that we're putting on there is stuff that can be shared. I remember the other day I sent you a little screenshot. I was like, a friend of ours just shared one of our posts that wasn't through me. They were on a client's page on a client's page and had shared it. And I was like, this is the point.
Yeah. And so, we start putting this together and it's amazing. And now, we've gotten to the point where we've built these graphics for all these different niches that we serve. And we actually have them up on a store that if you wanted to do this, it's nichegraphic.com. But anyways, that aside, this was the service. This was the thing that we did. And so what we started doing is we started saying, anybody that we want, as long as we stay within one niche, this becomes easy. We have one package of images. It's 180. And all we have to do is we go to every business that we think this is a fit for. And then we just rebrand and we keep stacking up clients that are paying us $100 to $300 a month. And this is sort of our microservice model. We love this because when you sign up a client, you do the work that maybe takes 2 to 3 hours the first time that you hang out with them and the first time that you're working with them. After that, software does all the work. And the only thing you're really doing is calling them every month to see, hey, how they're doing, and maybe upsell them another service.
Yeah. So, and then once a year, changing out all the holiday stuff. But that's one time a year. I mean, it's no time at all.
Exactly. And so getting into how we choose an industry to serve, like if you're just starting out and you don't really want to know kind of what you're wanting to do, you want to choose an industry that is, well, what, Tabitha? I'll let you kind of dig into this.
Well, I always say it's something that has a blanket type service. And when I say blanket type service, like most chiropractors all have the same type of services. Most dentists all do the same type of thing. You don't want to go after like a restaurant, for instance, that has very specialized type of dishes and food, because whatever you're posting for everybody else is not going to work for that one particular restaurant because they don't have that dish. So you're wanting to choose an industry that's got similar type service. I mean, that could be, tire shops. Yeah.
Tire and lube, gyms, plastic surgeons. You get into a lot of these things that you want things that, as you said, are very blanket. And no matter where you go in the country, it's going to be sort of the same kind of thing. And so the post will work for them.
And then there's also other ones that if it does have come of a specialty type thing, we also do these motivational packs where you can just put something out there that's just happy and upbeat, and you can throw that in there too. So
absolutely. And that's absolutely huge. And so, how do you get your first client with this? I think the service, you start to understand sort of what that is. And by the way, what we'll do on the actual page that we're going to do the show notes for this one on, we'll make sure that we include a link to a page, like a sample page that's running this, so you can sort of see this in action. I think that's super helpful for anybody that's like, okay, I think I understand what you're doing, but let me actually see. So we'll make sure we include a link for you guys so that you can go check it out and sort of see what a page looks like with this. So first client, obviously we're sticking to one niche. And so the idea is once you actually get good at this, it's not hard to continually use the same system to close clients in a similar niche. So number one, we stick with a niche. And so that's big. The other thing that I think is big is we have these 3, 4, 5 things that we stick with every time that if a client fits into this, they are ideal. So what are those, Tab?
So they need to be in business at least 3 to 5 years. They don't need to be brand new because they're still they're still working their kinks out. Give them a little time. They'll be good later on. We always like to go for people that are members of Chambers of the Commerce. That's not a have to, but it's a definite indicator that they're going to be a great business to work with. They've got a website. If they don't have a website, oh my gosh, they need one. So it's somebody that's like I said before, they want to market their business. They're showing signs that they want to do that. And then they also have to have an active Facebook page. Now they may be posting 1 to 2 times a week, 1 to 2 times a month, but they have to have a Facebook page that they've put something into.
Yeah. And I think that's that last one's the big point.
Yeah.
We don't typically go after people that are like the ones that we said that haven't posted in 2 years.
Yeah.
We like going after the people that we know they're trying, but maybe they're struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they're posting 1 time a week, but they're having, like, when I see that, I'm like, I know exactly where that person is at. They're trying to get stuff up.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say the ideal person for me, if I go and look at their Facebook page, if they've taken content from other places and shared it on their page, that is a big indicator that, hey, they need our services because they see a need for that and they're trying to find it. But obviously they're spending lots of time to search for other people's stuff to post.
And so, yeah, and I think that's the thing is if you're looking, you can find that stuff online. Mm-hmm. You can literally go in and say, has this business, and what I do a lot is I will literally just go to a chamber website. I will go to the members tab, and typically they will actually organize them by the type of business. So I just go to the type of business that I'm looking for, and I'll say, okay, cool. Have they been in business for a while? You can usually tell that pretty quickly by going to their website. And there's usually a link from the chamber to their website. And then from their website, you can usually link to their Facebook page. And all that data is within your fingertips within like a minute or 2 of your first starting to search. And so really, really easy. So once you sort of get in that mode, how do you get on their radar? How do you get on their radar? And so like the number one way that we do this is how we started our agency. This was, I mean, a lot of people are going to be like, that seems like a lot of work. But this is how we started our agency out. And this is how we got those initial clients. Now, to this point, we'll do things like webinars. We'll do all kinds of stuff to get people to come on and be a client. We go to events. Like that's a big one that we've done. And we go to events where we'll sign up 10, 20 people at a time. But when we started, it was this tactic. And we took donuts to people. That's simple. And I mean, like, there was a point where I would drive to a donut shop around 9 a.m. and I would order 10 boxes of donuts and be the weird guy carrying 10 boxes of donuts out. And I would literally have it mapped out. I would have mapped out 10 businesses, in the same niche that I was going to take. And when I started, it was chiropractic offices. So I would have a map and I would say, today I'm going to cover this town. The next day, maybe I was, or the next week when I had time, I would cover this next town. And so I would drive and I had these mapped out in a logical way. I would do this the night before and I would have out these notes. And the notes basically just said this. And I think this is what we should also do. We should also have a picture of the notes we'll make sure we have a picture of the notes. And I think just for fun, it would be great to have just some pictures of one of us doing this, because this is something that as we're doing it, we were taking selfies and sending them to each other laughing. But it works so well. So we get donuts. We would have this little note. I'd walk into a business. You'd walk into a business because we both would do this and would say, hey, we got this agency that we started and we're just trying to get to know people. We wanted to bring you a box of donuts and say hi and run. And we would immediately run out of it. It was like not trying to pitch anything, because the thing that I got used to when I had a brick and mortar business is people coming in, pitching, and just being an annoyance.
Uh-huh.
We didn't want to be that. We wanted to come in and lead with something awesome.
Well, the minute you walk in the door with a box of donuts, everyone in the office is going to look at you with a big old smile on their face.
Yeah,
I'd walk in there like, hey, who's this chick? What's she got?
It gets attention really quickly. And so, and the other interesting thing about donuts is a lot of times when you walk into an office, it's busy. Mm-hmm. It's really, really busy. And so what happens is this box of donuts becomes a time bomb. And it's a time bomb that has a lot of facets to it. First thing is you'll hand it to the receptionist. It's a good vibe. It's a really, really good vibe. They want to know what's going on, and you'll get your hand shook and lots of smiles. But what happens after you leave, and by the way, the note that we take in says exactly what we said when we walk in. Hey, I'm so-and-so from so-and-so, and it's great to meet you. Just want to introduce ourselves. Talk to you soon. But what happens is this box of donuts gets taken back to a break room usually. And so if you take cookies, if you take something that lasts longer than like 6 hours, and that's like the shelf life of donuts for me. Like, and you can have some the next day, but they start tasting kind of crappy. But for a donut, it's like 6 hours. And so we take these donuts in, they would sit in the break room. And what happens is donuts typically aren't the kind of things that are going to get taken home and, be great for days. So donuts get eaten fast. But as they sit in the break room of a place, the number one question that starts filtering throughout the office the entire day is, where did these come from?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is, they go talk to the receptionist, and the receptionist starts filtering your name and your whole vibe throughout the entire office.
Yeah.
And so you've got this cool little time bomb that is working its way throughout. And of course, it works its way to the owner as well. And so that's day one. Day two is when we start following up. And we typically follow up on Facebook. And it's just a real quick message. And like I said, I've got a screenshot that I can include in the show notes of this one as well, of exactly what we say and the response that we get with this too. Someone will throw in and say, we'll come in and say, hey, I'm the guy that dropped the donuts off, or I'm the girl that dropped the donuts off. I was wondering if I could get 10 minutes to sit down with you guys sometime and talk about this.
And you skipped a step though. When you're going in the first time with the donuts, when you're meeting the receptionist or whoever's in the front desk, make sure you get a name of that person because
it's a big one.
You paid attention. You got this person's name and you compliment them when you're doing the message. Hey, I'm Ben from this agency. I met so-and-so. She was so friendly. It's so nice to have somebody like that. That's your first person that you greet or whatever,
See, this is what happens when you've been doing this so long. The things that become like second nature to you. And this is like most of the people I think that teach online, that's the thing. We forget like the stuff. But that's the most important part about the whole thing is getting the name of the receptionist. Mm-hmm. So that when you send this Facebook message later on, you can actually plant that, hey, this person was awesome. And that gets you a huge response.
And lots of times the person that responds to that Facebook message is the person that met you the first time. And they're like,
right.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. And so it sets the stage of, instead of them being sold something, right away, it sets the stage of them feeling like, okay, this is someone that's one of us. Mm-hmm. This is a business owner too. This is someone that's out there doing it and they're hustling. And they were nice to me. And a lot of times that stands out in someone's day. And so from there, we lock down a meeting. And do we get a meeting with everybody we drop donuts with right away? No, but most of the time we get a good sentiment and we'll get a meeting eventually if we really want it. But the idea is we will get, when I drop 10 donuts, I'm going to get a meeting a lot of the time. At least 3-4 out of the 10 is going to be a meeting. So from there, what do we do? From there, we sit down. Yeah, no, it's good. From there, we sit down and we start talking about it and we present the deal that we have, which is, I'll let you take
like we said, when we started off, it's $99 a month up to $200 a month, explaining to them that we're posting on Facebook 2 times a day, every single day. And they cannot, if they sit down and think about this, they cannot hire somebody on their staff to create these images, brand them with their logo and post them to Facebook for what they're paying us to do those services for. It's a good deal.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, we make sure that we talk to them. It's not about, hey, showing up in the feeds of the people that already like your page. It's about being present. It's about sweeping the front porch off before you open the business. It's about making sure your waiting room is clean. This is one of those things that when somebody sees it, it makes you stand out. And so for $100 a month to have that locked in is absolutely huge. So anything else to add? I know the show notes are going to be an important part of this because there's some visuals we want to put up there. But I feel like that's the ball game. That's how we started our agency. Mm-hmm. That was the first thing that we were like, I got excited about selling because, we had services that we'd sold like Facebook ads that were like super involved, ate up all of our time. We got paid well, but it ate up all of our time. This was the first one that I was like super excited about because I was like, everybody needs this, but it's something that, for 2 to 3 hours of setup on our end, we can provide a monster service, get paid month after month after month after month, and not have to be heavily involved in actually the service. It's something we can actually get a computer a piece of software to do for us every month. And the only thing we have to do is talk to the client once a month. And I like doing that anyway. So, yeah.
Well, and it's a great way to expand your business really quickly, very quickly.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Once again, this is one of those services that once someone has on board with you, it becomes so much easier to sell other services. And so for us, for a lot of people, this is the opening to how they get their Facebook ad clients. But for us, this is how we get our clients that are going to buy 2 or 3 recurring services that are sort of in this microservice model. So yeah, I appreciate if you're listening to us today. Do me a favor. If this was helpful to you, tell a friend. That's always big for us. We like when people share this with people that they like because they want to, share something that's working out there. This is something that helps everybody involved. It helps the business. It helps you because you're getting paid monthly. And let's be honest, it helps people that are out there looking for, a brick and mortar business to understand this is maybe somewhere they need to go. If this is something that you want to tell us about, that you dig it or you don't dig it, leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. And make sure you go to digitalagencyinsiders.com. We'll have show notes up there, plus a ton of other stuff that you can jump in and you can learn how to set up your own agency. And if you've already got an agency, how to grow it, how to scale it, how to turn it into a monster. So thanks for listening. We will see you next time.
You've been listening to the Digital Agency Insiders Podcast. For more tutorials on growing your digital marketing agency, make sure to visit digitalagencyinsiders.com.